Well, certainly these last couple of weeks have been incredibly difficult. The killing of George Floyd, the protests, the rioting and looting, but also the unity, the unbelievable number of people from all over the world coming together to demand change, to be part of the movement to change our families, our communities, and our world. Good Samaritan Ministries has a reputation for bringing people together, for helping people and uniting. And this morning we want to talk with Erin Murphy, the CEO and Executive Director, about their role in this movement and where we go as a community from here. Erin, thank you so much for joining us. I know it has been an incredibly busy, moving week for you guys. You have a reputation. You have always been bringing the community together in difficult times and in celebrations.
Yeah, I'm honored to fulfill a role in our community, to bring people together for good causes, and how can we help those who are hurting and those who are in need. And so we've stepped up to the plate to see how we can come alongside and aid our community members who are suffering right now. And so we're glad to see things going in the direction of unity here in Upper East Tennessee.
And as a local faith leader, I know right after some of this started to come out and come to light, you guys really were one of the first organizations to take action and to say we need to come together as a community and talk about this.
Absolutely. We reached out to those leaders in our community, our police chief, our mayor, pastors of churches, and say, hey, let's pray and let's seek God's face, because we really don't know what to do. We don't have the answers, but we know who does. And so let's come together and pray, and things started to happen, but we were on the edge and believing God to move, and we believe He's moving now.
And of course, the community has come together. We have seen every night the streets with people of all different parties coming together, organizations, community leaders, community members, different races joining together. And our protests here, blessing, have been very peaceful.
Yes, they've been really good. Monday was a little rocky, but we just kept pushing through and seeing how we can get everyone to work together. We understand that racism does exist, and we have to admit that as a country and as a nation and a community. But at this time, we need to mourn with those who are mourning and try to understand what's going on and listening. Let's take time to listen to those who are going through difficult times right now in this season. And then let's have conversations with those who don't look like us and try to come together and let us move in the same direction, because divided we fall, but together we conquer and we can overcome. And so that's the hope, that's the desire, that we understand, yeah, no justice, no peace, but if there's Jesus in the midst of it, no Jesus, no peace. And so we want to keep Him in the center of this community, and let's make a difference together.
And it's interesting that you say we're still in that mourning process. We are very much still in that time of reflection. A lot of people talk about repairing, and it seems like we're not quite there yet. We're still in this process of let's still listen. Let's not push too far ahead. Am I hearing the community right? Is that kind of what you're saying?
That's what I feel, and that's what I believe. Let us mourn together. Let's not rush through this. I mean, you have hundreds of years of slavery and segregation and abuse to a group of our neighbors here in our country. They're hurting right now. They've gone through a lot. Just think about what it feels like to be black in the United States of America. It's exhausting. It's tiring. You know, I wish I could have woke up somebody different today, but you know, hey, let's mourn with each other right now, and then let's find a way to take steps forward. But I'm hopeful. I think we have the right leaders in place. We got great pastors and great churches who care and whose hearts are turned to this direction, and I'm very hopeful, and it's a great time to be in Johnson City, and I believe that we can be an example to other cities and other towns and other communities all throughout the world.
I think you're absolutely right. And seeing everybody come together, and like you said, it has been tense. It has not come without its tense moments, but we're getting there.
Yes.
And we're in that process, and we have
Yes.
those people, and we're part of that conversation.
Yes, yes, yes. And it's not going to, change is not going to happen overnight. Yeah, we want justice, and I know that there are loved ones who want it now, but it's going to take time. It's going to take time, and we have to be patient. But if we're willing to work together, then we'll get there. We will get there.
Aaron, we are blessed to have you in our community. We are blessed to have Good Samaritan Ministries. Thank you for the work you do.
Thank you.
We'll give everybody the website if you would like to get in touch with Good Samaritan Ministries and learn more about what they do for our community. You can find them by calling that number or visiting their website, goodsamjc.org.